Hi everyone in English 1301, it's Dr. E and I'm here with your week 8 instructional video. So I'm just going to jump right in and go to D2L and the module for this week to identify kind of where to go, what to do with a few notes along the way. All right, so if we go to the content area and jump to the week 8 module, I'm feeling like time is weird and meaningless or has too much meaning right now, so I don't know if you are feeling the same way. But there is hope on the horizon because next week is spring break, so don't forget that. Even if you aren't able to take a break from work or other things, hopefully just a break away from school will be helpful. All right, so for this week, you're going to watch a TED Talk by Ron Finley, and it's titled A Guerrilla Gardener in South Central LA. It tends to be a student favorite. It's one of my favorites. It's really interesting, enjoyable. Finley's a great speaker. So make sure that you are taking some time with that. You're watching the weekly video, and what I'm actually asking you to do is to re-watch the MLA video. I know that all of you watched it the last time I shared it, I'm sure, but it is going to be pretty important this week because we're diving into the written response in a more kind of formal way than our previous. So you'll really want to make sure that you are familiarizing or re-familiarizing yourself with some of those ideas regarding MLA and writing. And some of the examples that I offer I think are helpful, I hope so, and they can definitely have an impact on your approach to writing this week's written response. Additionally, there are quite a few quiz questions based on the video. So just saying. All right. There was a packback discussion and responses due this week, but you'll notice that those are, I've drawn a line through those, and that's because I want us to put our energy and efforts into the written response assignment. It is worth more points than the previous one. I am asking for something a bit more formal this week, so I feel like the pack-back assignment on top of that might just be a little bit too much in addition to the participation quiz. So let me reiterate, no pack-back discussion for this week because I do want you to put your effort into the written response. And it would be great, it's due on Sunday, but it would be great if you could just get it off of your plate and out of the way because spring break is going to start and you want to enjoy all the rest that is available, right? Or all the fun you have planned or whatever the case may be. All right, so here is the link for the MLA video. It's from previous semesters, so you know, hair is very different. I've also put the written response guidelines here for you to review, as well as the template. And then here is the link to the written response and the assignments, and then our quiz. So first, let me go to the assignment to kind of walk through what my expectations are. So this is in relation to Finley's TED Talk, okay? And so I put, use the template, indent paragraphs, see the example, all of that. And I put additionally, be sure to watch this week's instructional video for more details regarding how to properly quote a video. So we'll talk about that in just a second. And so I'm asking you to write 3 paragraphs based on Finley's work. Each of those paragraphs needs to be 6 to 7 sentences. And with each, you want to include a quote and explanation. We need to kind of dig more into the idea of academic writing, which is, supporting our ideas, showing what we know, showing that we've done the research and we're bringing in information from sources that are reliable or that we are analyzing. So we're analyzing Finley's work this week. And one way to do that is to bring in actual quotes. Paraphrasing is something that you can do. I always recommend to students just quote because you will avoid any anything that's close to plagiarism. Sometimes when we paraphrase, we tend to maybe change a few words here and there. That's still considered plagiarism if the majority of the words and the wording is taken from that source, right? So you want to just use quotation marks, just give the author credit, okay? So in one paragraph, summarize Finley's ideas. I don't know why I have a question mark there. Summarize? I'm going to put a period there. Use brief quotes from the transcript to support your ideas. The transcript tab or link on the webpage. It's included in his TED Talk. And I've put a link here to the Purdue Online Writing Lab website so that you can view more of those examples in addition to what the video discusses, the MLA video. In another paragraph, I want you to focus in on one key point that Finley makes that you find interesting. So remember that in a summary paragraph, a summary is not about you. It's not about you saying, I think this, or I believe that, or Finley is a great speaker. Summary is just the facts. These are his main ideas. Giving Finley credit throughout. Finley says this, Finley argues this, Finley's main ideas are this. Always bring it back to the author so that any of your readers, your audience understands these are not your ideas. These are ideas of somebody that you are summarizing, right? You are referencing. So giving credit, make sure that your reader really understands the differences between your ideas and the ideas of the source that you're summarizing. In another paragraph, okay, so the key point, just find one interest. This is where you come in. Explain his point and what you think is important, okay? So finally, in one paragraph or two, so a little bit of freedom here, examine your own connections to Finley's discussion. So this will make a bit more sense once you watch that video. Here is the, copy of the guidelines. Please review those, as well as the template. Please use the template, please. Okay, I'm going to pause for just a second so I can pull up some information about how to quote a video. Okay, so I'm back with a link that goes directly to the Purdue Online Writing Lab website, and this is to not only just to help you see this as a wonderful and useful source when it comes to MLA and APA, but also to give you an example of how to sort or how to cite a source that is media-based, that is a video, that kind of thing. So if we go to, this is what the Purdue OWL website looks like, right? On the left-hand side are all the options that you can select from in terms of creating works cited pages if you're looking for books or periodicals, other common sources like speeches, that kind of thing. But if you go to the MLA in-text citations, the basics, in-text citations, that's quoting, right? So you'll see at the top here, and if you scroll, there's a lot of information about different ways to cite your sources when it comes to quotations. I am going to scroll, I'm trying not to scroll too quickly, but it is near the bottom, the area I'm looking for, but I just want you to see all the different options available for how to quote, okay? Authors with same last names. It does offer the corresponding works cited entries for the examples, just so you can see how it works, right? What appears in the parentheses connects to what we see initially in the works cited entry. Almost there. Okay. So citing indirect sources is actually something we'll learn about in the future, but this is where you find it. Okay, so now we're getting into non-print sources from the internet or print. Okay. Electronic sources, this is pretty common nowadays. And then we get to time-based media sources, okay? So what the Purdue OWL says here is when creating in-text citations for media that has a runtime, so a video. Videos have a runtime, they have a beginning, they have an end, right? There's no page number to cite. So what MLA wants us to do is actually cite the time that these words are said. So it says, such as a movie, include the range of hours, minutes, and seconds you plan to reference, for example. So this is 2 minutes, 15 seconds to 2 minutes, 35 seconds. Okay, so you have the hour, the minutes, seconds. So I don't need it to be quite that specific. I need it to be specific. So I want you to know when Finley is saying something. You don't have to, is it this second or that second? You don't have to get that precise. We just need a point. I need you to drop a pin in the video where he's saying this. So if I go back to, I'm actually going to look at, I'll pull up the video. So if you click on the link here, this will open Finley's video, and you'll see right here is the read transcript button. Okay, so you can open it and you have second references and when he says it. So if you wanted to choose this point, you click it, and then he starts to talk, but then you get a timestamp right here of when he's saying this. So you want to be as specific as possible in terms of this. So you have 41 seconds, right? So you can just put 00:41 if you want to use this quote. If you want to use this quote, look where it starts right here, okay? So, and know that this is the easiest way to pull direct quotes because it is written out in transcript format. You don't have to keep pausing and typing. It's all written down there so that you can copy and paste as long as you're being very careful about using quotation marks. Don't just copy and paste and forget that because it's plagiarism, right? All right, so hopefully that sheds some light on how to do that. It seems difficult at first, but it's really not once you get the hang of it, especially because it's just like using a page number, which we would have to do for a print source, okay? All right. So I'm going to go back to week 8, okay? And so the only other thing we have to worry about is the quiz. And remember, again, questions from the MLA video. Questions. All right, I do want to pull up something just to kind of offer some reminders about the written response, because you submitted the reflections. I'm going to be going through those this week, and I'm going to try to gather kind of any questions that I see, and I'll post an announcement in D2L that addresses some of those questions so that as you work to complete this written response, you maybe have some answers, right? Anything from the feedback that you were nervous about or had questions regarding, any trends that I see in those reflections, I'll share so that, you know, everybody kind of has a sense of where they're headed with this week's response, because it is worth more points. It's a bit more formal than our last one. Our last one, we were just kind of dipping our toe in. This week is really working on academic writing in, you know, in quotation marks, capital letters, academic writing, okay? So I wanted to provide some notes and reminders. Seriously, y'all, use the template, please. It is the first thing that any professor sees when they open a document is the formatting. If I open a document and immediately I see issues, it's a little bit frustrating, right? Because I have given you the template, or you have access to all the information regarding MLA formatting, but I've given you the template so that everything is spaced correctly, so that you have the heading, the header, everything that you need on the page ready to go. Yes, you need to double check. If somehow when you download the template, it throws off something here or there, you need to just double check it if it doesn't look right on the page. But it's there to help, so please utilize it. I had quite a few things that I was grading, not necessarily with this class, but in another class that clearly the template was not being used. And that throws me off right from the start, right? So it's just one of those things where please use it. And I put here, you're going to want to push your ideas in writing. So 6 to 7 sentences for each paragraph. And that is because you need space in each paragraph to introduce the quote, to offer the quote, and to explain the quote. So we want to really get into this, this method of introduce, quote, explain. Okay, so don't just drop a quote in the middle of a paragraph, because we need, as an audience, to be introduced to the idea. We need it explained, because maybe I don't understand how this quote that you've chosen is connected to your ideas. So you need to explain that. Don't just quote drop. Okay, so keep that in mind as you're working on your written response. And that, I mean, for those of you who think, oh my gosh, 6 to 7 sentences per paragraph is a lot, taking time to introduce, quote, and explain takes up some space in there so that you're writing your ideas. Yes, they should shine. They should be the focus of that paragraph, but maybe that takes a little bit of pressure on all the sentences you have to write for each paragraph. Please watch the MLA video. Okay, and I put here, please shut down any of that negative narrative about your writing. Many of you shared previously that you have positive experiences and you feel pretty good about your writing, your abilities, your writing history. Many of you did not have that kind of perspective or those kinds of experiences. So if you're one of those folks, shut that narrative down. Give it a name. Say it's Dolores Umbridge from the Harry Potter movies and books, or say it's, you know, something negative. It's, I can't think of anything creative, but give it a name, give it an identity, and then tell it to shut up as you write, okay? Shut it down. Okay, so a reminder that spring break is next week. Take the opportunity, if you can, to complete some bonus work. I've gotten several stressed emails from y'all because you are working long hours, you have sick kiddos, you're sick yourself. I know it's definitely that time in the semester where our immune systems are kind of wearing down, or we're just feeling it. Take time to rest over spring break, but if you can, get some bonus work done. We can't focus on what we've missed in the past. We need to focus on now and moving forward, and then take the opportunity to do some of that bonus work to make up for maybe some of those assignments that you weren't able to complete. You got this, and we have plenty of work left in the semester. So take it easy, take care. I will have a quick video next week just as a reminder about spring break, but have a great week. Get that work done when you can, and let me know if you have any questions or concerns.